Hiya! Today I'm showing you how to do a layout using quite strongly patterned paper. I know this paper would look really good fussy cut, but I'm not a fussy cutter, but I still like to use it, so this is what I did. I actually had 3 sheets of the same paper, which was lucky, so I've used the flip side of one because I know that they match and blend in with the other, and I've ripped strips so that you've got lots of interest, but it's not overwhelming. The photos are quite strongly coloured too, but I figured that the colours in the photos were in the paper, so it sort of went really nicely. I always cut my 12 by 12 pattern papers down just a wee bit so that they fit into my album nicely without being too snug and pushing the folders out. So therefore I've had to cut the edges off the ripped strips because I didn't cut that piece down like I did the base piece. For this layout, I wanted to do some layers behind the photos because I wanted them to stand out from the quite boldly floral patterned paper. Put a little bit of stripy, diagonal striped paper from my stash and just some plain black. And this created a really nice border. And by the time I put the dimensional tape on the back of the photos, it really did make them pop without them being too differentiated from the background, if that makes sense. I did my usual ripping technique along both pieces of paper behind just the stripy piece of paper behind the photo, not the black. I don't think I did it on the black. I may have, actually. That's a bit hard to see while I'm doing this voiceover. And I had some of the little bits of the diagonal stripes left. Because I haven't stuck down those ripped edges very tightly, it meant that I could just tuck them in, and that tied the whole layout together, I think, with just a very subtle touch, but I think it worked really well, and I'm pleased that I thought to do that. It also means you get to use up your scraps, and that's a really important thing with scrapping, I think, that we try to utilise our little bits of paper in as many ways that we can. I've done that up the top right as well. But I don't show you all of this, of course, because as usual, I fiff and faff around a fair bit, and that gets a bit boring to watch in these videos. Once again, I've pulled out that little heart punch that's a current favourite, and I'm making my own embellies like I did in a previous video, using bits of pattern paper that I've got left over. The bit that you can see there is from a magazine, from a Peter Alexander night clothing magazine that we have in Australia, but it's really quite a good quality magazine. I was cutting out the blue bits, and then I realised on the back of the blue bits was this teddy bear, which was the perfect colour for the photos to make little hearts from, because it picked up the brown in the photos and touches of the sort of orangey colour in the pattern paper, and also because this was about winter and scarves, it had quite a warm feeling. It looks like fur. Well, it is fur. It's dog's fur, not real dog's fur. So here we go, cutting some of the heart shapes in half and then sticking them onto the other heart shape, which is a little bit fiddly. There we are with that nice little furry bit. It's fiddly, but it's fun, and it means that your embellishments are very, very, very unique and individual, and they really do match your layout really well. So, you know, go for it, I say. I did too many. I did more than I wanted, but I'll keep them for another layout. They'll come in handy. Here are the branding strips, is that what you call them, from the Kaisercraft paper? This is Kaisercraft paper, by the way. And I cut them all up, but I think I only used one in the end. And I do like to create a bit of a border around my paper, so I'm just doing some lines, and then I'll go back and do some scribbly bits to make the border stand out a little bit more. I haven't popped my photos down yet. It's funny how sometimes we do things in different orders, depending on the layout and what grabs you, I suppose. And I'm sorry for the lighting. I'm still trying to work out my camera angles, blah-de-blah, but I'll get there. These alphas are very, very, very old, I think 2013, and I've got lots of weird ones left. I initially bought 2 packets of them because I don't like running out of alphas, but of course that meant I just had a lot more odd ones like Q's and Z's left. So to create interest for this layout and to tie the green colour in throughout the page. I've just randomly selected bits and used them as an embellishment along the bottom. Then I came across the X and I thought, oh, X kiss, is it kiss, hug, kiss? That would work. But of course I had no zeros or O's. So I cut the corner off a Q and I cut it off too much. So then I did another one because I have lots of Q's and hey, what the heck. So I got a zero or a kiss or a hug out of a Q and popped them under the photo. Still haven't popped the photos down, but I just thought that looked really neat there. So I went ahead and did it before I finished doing the row of embellishment alphas along the bottom. So there's an idea. If you've got alphas left over, just pop them along the bottom as an embellishment. So here we go, finally sticking down the photos. It's taken me a while. Unfortunately, my camera ran out before the end of this video, so the final pictures don't look quite like what I got up to in the video, but it's only a few bits and pieces that I have to finish off with. And mostly the base work is done now. I'm thinking about where I'm going to put my title, and I know that I want to do something like it's a scarf kind of day. I think that's what I end up with. So I'm pulling out some new alphas that I got with my recent Kitaholics kit. That's an Australian kit company. And I also used some other older alphas as well. They're quite big, wide, these ones, but they go okay because there was room under the photo. And I think that's a bit of a tip too. If you've got white space, empty space on your photo, don't be afraid to cover it up with either embellishment clusters or alphas. It's a long title, and I sort of made it part of the design, I guess, by running it around the edge of the photo. Eventually I put my journaling on the right-hand side of this photo, top right-hand side, where those little bits of pink and white stripes are. And I can never use up all the exclamation marks, so I use 3 here. What the heck. This is my step-granddaughter who lives in London, and being in Australia, I think she's really lucky to be able to wear scarves like she does. We don't get much of an opportunity here. Also some Kaisercraft stickers. So I didn't mean to, but a lot of this layout is Kaisercraft. And of course the stickers get put onto some cardboard to give them a bit of firm foundation, before I stick them on the layout. I play around with these quite a bit. You don't see all that. I cut that out, but moving them around, I mean, everyone can do that. You don't need to see that. I'm quite happy with how it ends up, though, with how the stickers end up. So I've sort of created a cluster at the top and bottom of each photo, really, without meaning to. And apart from the word stickers and the hearts that I eventually add, I've really only used some little gemstones, little rhinestones, and a few black ink splats with Dilutions ink at the end, and a few arrows. You'll see me pulling out the arrows. So this is actually a sticker from the sticker sheet that came with this Kaisercraft pack. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's really pretty. And that gets moved. It doesn't go above the scarf there in the end. It goes up to the top right. Sort of ties in with where I've got the journaling eventually. These arrows I've also made myself. And here we go. That's the final picture. So I hope you can see how I've added a few black splats. The arrows that I've created myself just using a die cut and some glitter paper. The hearts I've added there, some splats, and you can see the glittery bits. And I've scribbled around a few of the hearts just to give it a bit more interest. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you some ideas for your own scrapping. And thanks for watching. Cheers for now. Happy scrapping. Bye.